Welcome back, everybody. Today on Bruner Tuner, we are going to be tackling another project on the SQ5. Not really a project so much as just maintenance. We are going to be changing the oil on this car. I'll be showing you how to do it at home with some simple tools in your own driveway. So don't worry, I know a lot of people get into these cars and think, oh god, the maintenance is so expensive and whatnot. So before you take it to a dealer, I'm going to show you how to take care of it yourself. In addition to that, remember we had that low level oil indicator light that was bugging me? I'm going to be fixing that by means of a new oil level sensor, as well as installing a dipstick on this, which never came from the factory. So we'll see you in a second. Alright, we got a little bit of daylight left. I got my good buddy out here with me, so let's go ahead and get into this thing. Whew, nice and dusty. Looking good. Alright, so on top here, we've got our oil filter. You will need a 36mm socket to get this. So this isn't something very common that you'll have in most tool sets, but you can pick these up at pretty much any automotive parts store that has a small tool section. So 36mm, 1/2-inch drive, that's what you're gonna wanna get. So now that we got our hood open, first thing we're gonna do is jack up the car and get underneath it. Okay, next up under here is gonna be taking off all of these small Torx bits with a T25. This is just from a small toolkit I have, but these T25s, it's always good to have whenever you have a German car, so get a set of them for yourself. I believe there are 18 in total, so let's go ahead and get after it. Highly recommend having a small impact driver or just a drill of some sort, because doing this by hand will suck. Beware of falling dirt. Okay, so we get all these taken out now. We've got 13 of these normal screw type T25 bolts, and then there are 8 of these kind of like half turn, I don't really know what you would call them. Normally they lock in place, and there's actually one still stuck in that splash tray. But there's 8 of those, so just kind of keep track of where they go, and don't mix them up if you can, because you don't want to, you know, cross thread things the wrong way. So let's go ahead and get underneath here and take a look at what we're dealing with. All right, so this is what you're gonna use to take the drain bolt out. This is a 6mm Allen key. So you can either use an actual Allen key, but I highly recommend just getting an actual bit with a driver to take this out. You can see on here we've got a crush washer, and we will make sure to replace this with a new plug-in washer each time. You can reuse them, but the kits that I buy come with it, so we replace them for safe measure. Once we get this all drained, we're gonna come over here, which is our oil level sensor. We'll go ahead and pop this out, replace it, and then we'll move on to topping this thing off with oil, as well as replacing the dipstick. So let's go ahead and get it back up top. So, like I said, we got a 36mm on here. We're gonna go ahead and put our 1/2-inch breaker bar in here and go ahead and crack that loose. All right, and there we have it. Gotta be careful not to spill too much oil out. It looks like we might have already done that some, so gonna go grab a rag and I will catch you guys back here in a second. All right, we're losing a bit of light here, so please bear with me, folks, but we're gonna go ahead and take this 6mm, crack that loose. There we go. So right here we've got the Liqui-Moly. This is the Moly Gin. This is the stuff with like that UV coloring. I don't know if it really makes a difference. It was on sale, so I got it, but we require 7 quarts here. Get the filter and the plug and washer with this kit. And this is the new sensor I picked up, also from FCP Euro. You'll probably see a trend with most of the parts I buy. It's not because I'm sponsored by these guys, it's just because they are a great company, and I love to rep and put out the good word about good companies like this. Right, we've got the old sensor out. Let's go ahead and let this thing drain out of the way, and then we'll pop the new one in. Just a quick note, be careful when you're doing this. My gasket actually stayed behind, and you do not want to double stack that gasket because you will have a bad day. So please check that whenever you remove this old sensor, and pull that gasket off. All right, and that new sensor is back in there. Remember to push that tab back down, because that is how that plug comes out. So now we're gonna go back up top, fill this thing up, and then we will get ready to put that dipstick in. All right, so we got a new dipstick here, and God knows why Audi didn't do this from the factory. Here's that part number if you need to get it. But check out how simple this is. Right here, you've got this small tab on the driver's side valve cover in the front. You're just gonna pop that thing out, and that's it. Now your dipstick goes in that same hole right there. So go ahead and get that popped in, top this thing off with the wheel, and give her a start. How about it? We got a dipstick, ladies and gentlemen. Before I add the last quart, I'm gonna go ahead and pop the filter in, give this thing a startup, check for leaks, and then we'll add the last quart so we don't overfill it. Torque this to spec. Click. Let's go ahead and start this thing up. All right, I don't see any leaks down below, so we're gonna go ahead and top this thing off. So, looks like it takes all 7 quarts, and we are good to go. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it today. I'm running out of light, as you can see. I'm not gonna bore you with putting on that splash tray, but I do wanna leave you with a note. Make sure you're buying the correct oil for these vehicles. Get that VW 502 or 505 spec, and that should be the right stuff for your car. Whether it glows in the dark or whether it just leaks everywhere. That's what you're gonna wanna get for these German vehicles, so make sure you buy the right stuff. But that's it for now, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.